to my school result management portal. So to get to this place, just go to on your browser results.mysch.ng and hit the enter button, and then log email and password. So if you don't have anyone set up, you can sign up here, but then if you already have one set up, log in with your user email address and password and click on login. So when you log in the first time, you're gonna see this dashboard where you can manage section parameters, your school arms and all other information here. So this is a demo. Usually your logo will be here, the name of your school will be up here as well, and your school slogan will be here as well. So quickly, let's just see what we can do here. We have set section parameters where you can manage section terms. So you can see we already have 3 created here, which is first term, second term and third term. And the first one on the list is usually the current term. So if you want to create more, say 2020 now, you can come here, create 2020, 2021, and then create first term for that. And then usually this is where you want to enter information about what you want to display in your result sheet, this line here. So if you want to pass some information to parents on your result, you can enter it here. I will say let me just enter information here to parents that says pay your fees on time. And then when is this next resumption date? After the end of this first term, that's what this means. So you can just select a date where the school will, but if you don't have this information now, like how many duration this term is going to be open for, you can always edit it. So let's go ahead and click on create, and then notice that it now becomes the current term. So it now becomes the current term on top here. Yeah, so like I said, you can make anyone the current term depending on the current term in your school. So whichever you have here and you realize that, oh, this is the wrong current term and we are still in third term, I can come back here and do edit and then make current term here, and then you'll see this third term come up to number 1 now by the time I update this. Alright, so you can see it now, it's now number 1. So that's about section parameters. So under school arms, you can create what your school has. If you have creche, a nursery, a primary, a grade, you can select it here. So I already have 3 created here, so I want to add nursery here, and then I'll click create. So nursery will come to the list here now. So I can now select the school arm in creating classes here, create classes. So let's create some classes for the nursery right now. So we'll select nursery here, and we can call our class name here nursery 1, and so on. Create. So click on create. Notice that we have nursery 1 there now. We can select nursery again and say, let's say nursery 2 this time, nursery 2 this time, nursery 2, and click on create. And then we have here, then let's add primary 2. Let's say we have primary 2 as well. We can just go here, select primary here. So what you see on this school arm is what we created in this school arm section here. So select primary and enter primary 2 here and click on create, and then we can see it on the list here. Alright, so when we're done with classes, we can go create subjects. We already have some subjects created for this, so let's just create some subjects for our nursery class here. So quickly, I'll create English language, or in nursery they do verbal, right? So we'll just select verbal here, verbal reasoning, verbal reasoning, and then for which school arm? Nursery. And then this subject will be available for all the nursery classes. So this display position is how you want it to be arranged in your results. So if you want verbal to be number 1 in the result sheet, you put number 1 here. If you want to be number 2, you put number 2 here. So when you click on create, you get nursery. Number 2 on the list is verbal. So let's create number 1 as oral English. So let's call here oral English for nursery, and then we'll just make it number 1. So we'll quickly go ahead and create one more subject for nursery. So let's call this sciences, social sciences, for example, and nursery. So for your different school arms, you can create different subjects. You already saw that we created some here, so you can select. If you are creating for primary this time, you can select for primary, depending on the subject you want to create for your different school arms. So here we'll just make here number 3, so that we'll have number 3 down here. Alright, so we now have number 3, 1 2 3 here. So you see that we don't just create for nursery. I'll just go ahead and add one more to this list here, and then you get to see how it works. So let's add computer science to kindergarten, for example. Computer science to kindergarten. So you see that it's not just nursery that we can add to. Let's call it number 4. So watch how it comes here. Alright, so computer science now. So quickly, now we've created subjects. You can edit each of these subjects by clicking on this pencil icon. So if you made a mistake somewhere, or you want to rearrange the position, so let's say we want to rearrange the position. Verbal should be number 1 here. Come to verbal here, and then change the position to number 1, and then we'll have 2 number 1s now. Right, so we'll have 2 number 1s. I'll go to oral and make it number 2. Alright, so I'll go to oral and make it number 2 now. So that's what you can do it by editing here. So you see it's arranged right now. So the next thing is to manage grading here. So depending on what your school uses, if you use A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on, you can edit them here. So you can set lower and upper limits just by editing. So let's say in your school you don't use P, use a D, and then you can change the limit from, let's say, 45 to something else. So let's go do that. Edit, and then here we use a D here, and then here is 45 lower limit, and D is a pass. You can update it here, and say your failure starts from 44, 0 to 44, sorry, and you call it poor, not fail. So you can come here and edit that, and call here poor, and then increase the upper limit to 44. Alright, so what matters when you're creating grade is that there should be no gap. 0 to 44, the next one starts from 45 to 54, the next one starts from 55. So you shouldn't have something like 0 to 44 then 50, so that students who fall within 45, 46, 47 will always find a place to fall in. So the next thing is to create students. Alright, so I'll just quickly go ahead and create one student. So you see we already have one for KG3, so I'll create one for a nursery class, and I'll just say Jim Moore, Queen, Jim or Queen, middle name, surname is Ade Banjo, and the student is a female. Year admitted is the year the student was admitted into your school. So let's say 2017 here. So if you have an ID system in your school, just numbers here, no letters. If you have an ID system in your school, enter it here. If not, you leave it blank. The student will generate automatically. The system generates automatically for you. Then add the student to a class, nursery 1. So if you have a student passport or photo, you can add it here. If not, you can leave it blank. So go ahead and create this, and then you see we have a new student right now. okay, in your school nursery. So you can view the student from here and edit from here. So just go ahead and view. So you can see that this is the name of the students, female, and so on. So you can edit that student. So let's edit this KG3 student now. Say we want to edit them to a nursery as a nursery student. So come here, edit record, and then we change their class from KG to nursery, and then we save. So now we should have 2 nursery students here. All right, that's good. So quickly we'll go to manage enter scores here. So under enter scores here, you select the class. We have student for nursery 1. All right, so we have subject, 3 subject, verbal reasoning. So you select one of the first subjects, click create and update. So you can now enter scores for these 2 students in this class. 23, this one scored 11, this one scored 14 for the second test, this one scored 9. Exam, this one scored 60. Exam, this one scored 60, let's say this one scored 67. So don't worry about the total score and grade. By the time you update, it will automatically be updated for you. So if I do update scores now, for verbal reasoning for nursery 1, it says scores updated successfully. So if I should go back to nursery 1 now and view verbal again and click on create and update now, you see that those scores are there and it has generated the total score and the position. Don't worry about the grade. By the time we get to the result sheet, you see the grade appear there. So we'll just quickly go back here. All right, so we'll go back and select nursery 1 here. So we'll go back and select nursery 1, select the next subject, oral English, create and update. So 2, 11, this guy had 20 here, this guy had 22 here, this guy had 14 here, and this guy had 45 here. So update for oral English for nursery 1. Then we'll go back here, select nursery 1 again, update for the next subject, social sciences. All the students there will be shown, and then we can give this guy 30 here, 30 here, and say in exam here he had 40, so that should be 100. So depending on the range of your school, so if your range is 20, don't exceed 20. All right, so but one thing that always happens, even if the scores you mistakenly more than 100, you can never get a total above 100. So for this 15, 12 and 45. So I'll update scores here. So now we have updated all the scores for nursery 1. So now is to view the results. Now we can either do that here or come here. So first of all, you can view the broadsheet. So or you can just go straight to the individual sheet. Take note that we are working on the 3rd term. So if for any reason your term changes, you won't get to see that result if the result is not entered for that term. So ensure that the term is always correct here. And I already shown you from section parameters how to make a term the current term, make a section and a term the current term. So since this is the correct term we've been using, we'll just go to nursery 1 where we already added scores and click on show. So you'll be able to see the broadsheet. So you can see the broadsheet we added. So for this subject, oral English, the first position is Adebanjo Jimo, and that is the total score, and this is the grade, and this is the position in class. For the social sciences, you can see Solomon Adebayo was number 1 this time, and then the total score and the grade and so on. So all right, so that's how it works. So you can print the broadsheet if you want to do this. Okay, and just go click on print here. So let's go back and look at the individual result sheets. So individual result sheet here, select Nursery 1 here. Then if your school uses a custom result template, we can create that for you and it will be among this list. But by default we have the classic with passport. So if you click on show, you get the result here for the 2 students here. So if you added their photo here, their photo will appear here. So if you go to print here, that's your logo up there. This is the student photo here. So this is 1 student. You scroll down, this is the 2nd student. So cancel. So if we look at the 2nd template, the one without passport, so if we should view this, sorry, that was the wrong class. So when you go to a wrong class that has no result, you see nothing. Go to primary 1, Nursery 1, sorry, classic, no passport. Click on show, and then you can see that this one has no passport. All right, so you can print as well. So let's go back. So that's basically how this works. The other information here is your school information. You can always edit your school information here, or your profile. You can edit your profile here, or you can contact us here, enter your message, and we will get the message straight from here. You can say hello admin, help me fix this issue. So you may want to put your school name at the end of the day, so we know that it's coming from your school. So you're going to get a message sent. We'll get back to you shortly, and then you can view more apps here or log out from here. All right, so this is basically how it works. So thank you so much for watching.